Hello, Internet My name is Josh Player, and I am back again with another week of Draft League questions that I post on my Twitter, which you can see right up there, which is at UltraPlayer12. You should follow me, but be warned, I tweet a lot of weeaboo shit. So, yeah. Hope you like that. Also, shout out to Irene. So, anyway, we are here for our weekly question, which you can see also above that I've had posted for about 36 hours now. And that is, what is your favorite low-tier offense Pokemon, specifically like 9 points or lower, in Draft League? We're going to talk about it, see what people say, and we're going to discuss it. If you want to be part of these questions, make sure you follow me on Twitter. If you don't follow Twitter, you can see when I plug it in Plug Chats, and you can DM me on Discord. And hopefully, like Phil, I won't forget you. We'll see. You never know. I do have very small brain. I actually have big brain, but most of it goes towards anime weeaboo shit. So you're gonna have to excuse the fact that I may forget many, many, many things, like the fact that I'm still talking. So we are going to get into this. Make sure you guys are following me here, subscribe to me here on YouTube. That helps me out a whole lot. I don't know why I say whole lot. It helps me out a whole lot as I push towards, as you can see, 500 subs. So let us get into it and see what people have to say. By the way, before I click on this, obviously, once again, I do mute this thread so I don't see anything, but I just want to put it out there. Owen, OG Albina, I better not see that stupid fucking pants wearing horse shit Scrafty. I'm going to punch my webcam. Anyway, so let us get into it. First thing we see is Aaron12 says, my boy Zeb Striker has done his job every time I drafted it, and even got into kill leagues of the league I was in, and also even won me match of the season because of a sweep I pulled off. Zeb over Lucky, in my opinion, have used both. Zeb is more useful each time. Woo! I feel like this would have been a very good opinion that I could see myself getting behind because of the speed tier and everything before Hidden Power got so. Now that Hidden Power's gone, I don't know if I can really agree with this as much because, I like the American hair ground type, whereas, Zipcycler's trying to click overheat and, it doesn't really work out. So, you kind of got to be careful there, but I guess, the subtoxic sets could always be viable. It does have some interesting things that it does over Lucky, such as the immunity to grass, as well as the immunity to electric, which both share. It's faster, and it could, that's all I really got. I think Zipcycler's bad, so we'll give it to him. He's clearly done work, so he's clearly the knowledgeable one on Zipstrika. I, unfortunately, do not know how to herd zebras for a living. So, good shout out to Aaron12 there with the Zipstrika. I saw Maj. Maj is the next one who tweeted something, so it's going to be he's going to try and say Crawdon, even though that's too high. My two faves were Mudsdale and Beartick. Oh, look at that. Both put in work for me, putting in at least 15 kills in one season each. Beartick really surprising. I'm actually curious to see how that really worked out, because Beartick's a really fun mon. Good slush rush. Whenever you try and draft Hail, you always get a lone Zag Slash, so I'm glad to see that he's put in the work with Beartick. Mudsdale, I mean, we all know Mudsdale. Phenomenal mon. And, where are bathroom keys? Ignore me for a second. Under register 3. Anyway, sorry, work's texting me. They text me all the time. It's my buddy Cameron. He loves me, but don't worry about it. He has a girlfriend, unfortunately. So, Mudsdale, we all know, is a really, really good Pokemon. I'm also not cutting that out, by the way, because I don't have time for it, and I'm too lazy and too much of a bitch. So, Mudsdale's a great Pokemon. We've all probably used Mudsdale or seen it being used really, really well. I know Flame Horizon really likes Mudbray, but Mudsdale is really good. Constant stamina boost. Still a really strong mon, honestly. Really, really strong. 125 base attack. I feel like people underestimate how hard that thing is hitting, especially with all the coverage it gets. Close combat, Stone Edge, Heavy Slam, stuff like that. It's a really good mon. Really, really like Mudsdale. And Beartick, also really interesting Pokemon. Obviously, this is a Pokemon that still gets SD. It still gets, good coverage moves and stuff like Night Slash, Earthquake. I don't know if it gets Earthquake, but I'm just saying it does. Night Slash, Aqua Jet, I'm pretty sure. Stuff like that. Juiced. Somehow Indeedee is still low tier in the league I'm in, standing strong second train. Yes, I actually, when Gen 8 first came out, I used Indeedee in Gen 8 APA Evo. The team I drafted was absolutely horseshit, but Indeedee really did help me pull back the season. Because I drafted like horseshit. I drafted like Grimmsnarl round 1. I drafted Psychic Terrain plus Hology, which obviously, like, won me a bunch of games. Had a Mamoswine, stuff like that. But Indeedee's still like really, really strong. It's actually pretty underrated how strong this Mon really, really is. Psychic Terrain is no joke. Although it does have that nerf from going into Gen 8, right? Yeah, Gen 8, where it's only 30% instead of, 50% of a boost. So it does have that, but it does have a lot of good coverage. It just has a decent speed tier. Good for like Psychic Terrain horse shenanigans, but if I'm drafting it by itself, I don't really like it. I usually like having something that can abuse Psychic Terrain. I kicked Axe in a low tier once. Fracture. Yeah. If you're watching the Draft League reaction with like that I just posted this week, NPTL, yeah, I'll waltz some shit with a Fracture. Good Mon, very bulky, very strong. 117 is not a joke. Priority first impression, yeah, really good, etc. I feel like people would also not think about that as much because you're thinking about like how this is gonna DD bulkily up, and yeah, you get it really cheap, really really good. Like, why not? I have a couple points left over. I feel like I have a couple points left over Mons get really really overlooked sometimes. Like, people are trying to fill roles. Like, sometimes you don't really need that role filled. Like, your team will do it. Just get a fun potential offense Mon, and you never know when that's gonna show up and win. What in the hell did you post? This is my good pal Skylar. Once again, if you were to watch the recent video where I go over NPTL, he loves him Fortress. That's good. That are good pal thugs. He's good at dying, and he's good at also dying and clicking Zap Cannon. Trev, even though I never built a team with it that can fit it, Trevenant's a really fun Mon. I feel like people really overlook that. I feel like there's a lot that can be done with Trevenant, like Resist Berry plus Harvest, being able to constantly get that back and eliminate a potential weakness and help it beat a certain Mon. I know Cody. No, I don't know if he did this or not. I can't remember if he did this when I faced him way back when, but Yachi Berry plus Harvest to constantly regenerate it and help beat a Manaphy, which is really, really interesting. Jake Rapidash, my guy, Jake Sherwin, one of the best Draft League players to literally ever exist, drafted Rapidash one time on a team with like an Excadrill or something. No, that wasn't the Excadrill team. He drafted Rapidash, right? In a regular league. Versus a bunch of players who knew him, who were like pretty good. And yeah, he got like 18 kills with it for no reason. So shout out to Jake. That was like his last season before retiring too. My man. It's Cody Dollarhide. Oh, Cody. I predicted Owen with the Scrafty. I should have said my boy Cody. Love my boy Cody. But my boy Cody loves him some Noivern. He loves Noivern to death. Absolutely. He also mentioned a lot of other ones. Okay, so Archeop, really, really good. Could be really strong before Defeatus. Runerigus, very underrated ground ghost type. Really good resistances. Gets with rocks. Physically defensive. Can have some shenanigans. Passimian. God, I love Passimian. So good. Golurk, same thing. Really cool offensive mon sometimes. Duraludon, used it. Love it. Strong as hell. Iron Defense body presses are things that could definitely happen. Ludicolo, good rain sweeper even outside of it. Water Grass is an interesting typing. Dewblade, I feel like a lot of the Eviolite mons kind of like fell off a lot in Gen 8. Like, I don't see Dewblade drafted as much. I don't see Gligar, Golbat, all these mons. I don't see them drafted as much anymore, and that really intrigues me as to why. I guess because we're coming to a more offensive metagame. But even still, I feel like Dewblade should still be drafted more than I see it drafted. Gliscopod, that is not a C. That should be there. Gliscopod, good spiker, good bulky water, stuff like that. Lycanroc mid. Well, it's called Lycanroc mid for a reason. So, Sneasel, Scrafty. Oh, fuck. I blame my win. Gramble. Gramble's a great fairy type, good intimidate. Scyther, I feel like people really underestimate Scyther specifically because of how strong, because 4 times weakness to rocks. It's again a Violite mon, but you don't need to run a Violite. Run Twitch Band, run Dual Wing Bee. It's gonna mess some stuff up. the token minorities. This has to be TTM stab. This is no way Jolt. Jolt doesn't know what Twitter is anymore. Been a while, but Zangoose, spammable stab, priority, good coverage, and decent speed. Yeah, no, Zangoose is actually really strong. Zangoose is actually like pretty freaking strong. And the thing with like a lot of Pokemon that rely on status for boosting strength, like Hariyama and other gut sweepers like Kecleon, they're all slow. They're all slow as piss. So, like, you're not really breaking through something that's going to be able to recover stall you forever. Zangoose is fast as shit, and it gets stab on its facade, whereas stuff like Kecleon doesn't. So, I really like this shout-out. Swords Dance, Belly Drum, all kinds of stuff. And Swords Dance especially. Really, really underestimated. Normal is really, really good, and it definitely gets the coverage it needs to. People overlook Zangoose a lot. Poor Ian. I already said it. Lycanroc mid. Well, it's called Lycanroc mid for a reason. 112 speed is Fanatic Spade tier. I can't really talk too much about Lycanroc mid. I mean, yeah, it has a lot of like checkboxes that you need. It can be a good strong rock type, which I feel like people overlook a lot because there's not a lot of good rock types, so you don't think about it. Good speed tier. Outpaces the 110s, which some people, you know, trying to end up capping out at with some teams. Plus, it looks like my dog. God, I love Ian. But I personally would probably never draft it solely because I always want Dusk. I think Dusk is just one of the fucking most ridiculous, stupid, broken Pokemon ever. I love Lycanroc Dusk. It's one of my favorite Pokemon to use. But it definitely can perform a couple interesting roles. Lead rocks come to mind. Woo. And while it doesn't get as much boost when Tough Claws on a Accelerock, it still has, you know, stab priority in Accelerock. Tyrantum. That is a hard-hitting motherfucking Pokemon. I've used this in ICBA, actually, but I used it on a... I'm just going to draft a Pokemon I've never used before team. And it was literally like my only Stealth Rocker, because I could not formulate a good team. So I literally just ran like Sash or like Berry, Stealth Rock, DD, Stabs. It did work. It didn't do bad. It's a very strong Pokemon. Definitely think people are overlooking it. Stoutland, again, this is I think a Pokemon that really fell off, especially with no like return. Stoutland really fell off, in my opinion. From usability, it was just a good, just tier 5, just slap it on. I got a Sand Setter, so why not put it on there? It could be a thing, and it's my tier 5. And move on. Alolan Eggy, Jorge, where you at? Where are you at, Jorge? Alolan Eggy, that is a strong Pokemon. 145 Draco on your head. That is stronger than Lottie. Latios, stronger than both. Drop in a Draco. Life Orb, Trick Room specs. So, about that. Trick Room Life Orb. Life Orb Alolan Eggy is stronger than Mega Latios. Strong ass Pokemon. Ridiculous. And Grass Dragon's also just like really nice. Especially when you have like Flamethrower as a potential. And Alolan Eggy in general, like when you send it out, it helps eliminate a lot of surprises of, am I actually going to be able to set up on this thing because of Frisk, which is a really nice ability. Noctowl. Okay. Actually, I mean, Noctowl isn't that bad. Really. I've used Noctowl. I drafted it in my championship for NCP before I dropped it for Volibee. And no, that Tinted Lens can definitely pull some stuff off. Nasty Plot, Agility. It's one of those Pokemon that, like, it's so bad normally that, like, you don't think about it. You don't prep for it, so you're not prepared for, like, normal spam or something like that. So it could definitely be one of those like really getaway Pokemon. Like a lot of these other mid-tier mons, like you prep for Noivern. When you see Zangoose, if you don't have good normal resist, you prep for it. Rapidash, if you're like weak to it, you're like you think about it. Sneasel, Duraludon, stuff like that. All these Pokemon, but they're like when you don't really have like the resist for it, you think about it, right? You're constantly thinking about it. With Noivern or Noctowl, I feel like people really overlook it and overlook it so much that even though they're like really weak to it in general, they're not going to pay too much mind because like it's a Noctowl. Well, then you're going to get Nasty Plotted and Hurricane. And as it's late, as Goldoa mentioned, it also gets like Heat Wave and Moonblast when it really needs to hit something that's like super resistant to flying. But yeah, fucking Tinted Lens Hurricane, guys, really strong. Do I need to post it, or can I just say this and you understand what I'm talking about? I hate it. I know exactly what he's talking about. I find this the funniest post ever. I know literally exactly what he's talking about. He is literally, I promise you, he's talking about Vanillux. Because he had a team with like Mega Glade on it, and Vanillux was his kill leader, and he had got like 30 kills with it. Like, guys, Vanillux is so good. I love Frostlass as my like random offensive ice type, but Vanillux is so motherfucking good. Like, screens as like Sash Hail screen setter, or just click the motherfucking kill button and click Specs Blizzard. That is a very strong Pokemon. That 110 base power, always hitting blizzards, no drawback. Just click the button. Not a lot of people draft good ice resists, and when they do, it's their water type, and freeze dry hurts. So yeah, very, very good Pokemon. Very, very just like super buff Pokemon that I feel like a lot of people might overlook, and you can get away with a lot of stuff. Also get Stab Ice Shard for like Ubers. I really liked it in Ubers because you know it could prevent stuff like Mega Salamence, Rayquaza, stuff like that. I mean, Noivern, again, Noivern fills so much like random roles that you would never even think. It's really good for scouting with stuff like Frisk and being fast with U-turn. Infiltrator if they're kind of weak to the Mon, like, or if they're weak to like Hurricane or Dracos. Really, really good. Get bypassing subs, and specifically like sub hitter, like sub 3 attackers, being able to bypass that and get around with it. And Noivern, literally for no reason, Noivern does not have like amazing bulk. It should not live hits. Unless I've hit it with like an Ice Beam, I never have seen a Noivern drop to one move. It's literally only if I've hit it with like an Ice Beam from something that's like Stab. It's just that Mon for me that just like always lives a hit. It just never dies. Like it should not be alive, but it always is. Vikavolt. Damn. Matt O'Shea. Is it that? Why did I remember that? If you want to talk about Vikavolt, this is where you do it. Also sub to Matt. Also join his membership. Also check out his thumbnails. Also sub to Liv, because you can see her face in there. Anyway, it's Vikavolt. I've said it before. I've talked about it. I've made a shit post about it. Vikavolt's great. I absolutely adore it. Web setter, sweeper, specs, great pivot, amazing pivot. I feel like Bug Electric just like looks like a shit typing. It has the most random good resistances, and it helps versus a lot of stuff. It's so good, and it's great with an Aqua Berry. Isn't that right, Matt O'Shea? Did I just see Pangoro? Hey, you guys want this Urshifu? You can't have it because you're not first pick. Get a Pangoro. It's also really, really good. It's not as strong because Wicked Blow is the critting and knockoff doesn't always crit, but hey, guess what? They don't have an item anymore, and Pangoro gets Sword Dance and Gunk Shot, and it's really, really good. And Parting Shot is better than U-turn. Very good Mon. Very, very stupid strong Mon that should not be as strong as it is. Honestly, it has to be a Araquanid. It's kind of fun. I just see Jorge after I talked about Lona. It's kind of funny. Not funny how ridiculously hard that thing hits while being ungodly bulky too. Banded really do go burr. Words are cool too, but haha, Banded liquidation. I mean, listen, I mean, if you want a Banded water type, go get Dracovish. I don't know what to tell you. Honestly, jokes aside, I really love Alolan Eggy as a cheap breaker. It has really good coverage. It can run physical or special. It has a lot of options. Like, it's Eggy. Guys, if you are ever in the same league as Jorge and you take Alolan Eggy for him, I will personally come to your house and beat you to death with a baseball bat. That is his. That is his Alolan Eggy. How dare you even look at his Alolan Eggy? The nerve of you, scum. Electivire, as it is a Volt Stopper and can hit like a truck on the physical side, while also being able to run specially offensive too. Again, I talked about Electivire already. Really, really good low tier electric type. However, I feel like just electric type in general is just falling off so bad because no hidden power. Electivire is good because it can run physical sets a lot easier with Ice Punch, Earthquake, Cross Chop, stuff like that. But one thing I really liked about it back in. Ooh. The times of hidden power was, I liked having secondary electric immunities or really, really good resist, because then opposing electric types become so much harder to use, right? With double immunity with different types, and so you can't just run one hidden power, it became really, really good. So Assault Vest Electivire could become like a really good, cheap electric counter. Golurk, hell yeah. Saw Cody talking about this. Golurk's really strong. Golurk is 124 base attack, and it definitely has the bulk so where it could set up something like a Rock Polish. Poltergeist is really good. It became so good with Poltergeist. It gets Iron Fist with Ice Punch, and I think it gets Thunder Punch, and maybe it gets Fire Punch, but it also gets Earthquake, and I mean, it's Stab Earthquake, it gets Rock Slide, I mean, it's Edgequake. What else do you really, really want from me? It definitely can do a lot. Lead Rocks, it can be Choice Band, like you said. Now that I'm thinking about it, does Golurk and Pangoro have the same attack and speed? $124.58, which is what I thought it was. Oh no, Golurk is 3 points slower, but it is 124 attack. Why do I remember these random stats? Anyway. Yeah, Rock Polish. Now it gets a strong Ghost out. I feel like so many mons got better with Poltergeist. Poltergeist make things so much nicer. And it's a free frisk. You get to know what people's items are. Ooh. Okay. So we see two important things. Chandelure and Magnezone. Chandelure, 10 points. So yeah, really good strong breaker. People don't prep enough for something as strong as that. But Magnezone is actually a really interesting Pokemon in the way that it does force prep, and you never really have to bring it, like ever. Like it's always OU, it's always OU Mon, but you never see it drafted, and it's always so low because people are like, well, I can bring Shed Shell, or I can play around it, or I can play in a way where I don't need my Steel type. But even still, like, Analytic Flash Cannon specs, that is strong. That is strong. Obviously I lost a lot without Hidden Power Fire, but again, it has Flash Cannon for a good secondary attack. And one of my like favorite things that I remember seeing was, I think it was Utah Jasmine. Who did that? Cooper Kishiro ran like sturdy leftovers Magnezone so that he could just like come in on rocks, click protect, and then be like a sturdy kind of thing. But it also gets sturdy, so now you can just run boots. Sturdy boots has a couple things. Definitely overlooked. I don't know if I'd still draft it at 9, especially how slow it is, but I do think it's pretty good. Don't think I've seen many people use it well, but given its raw special attack and Ghost being super bad with Lab Pursuit, I love Poltergeist, and not just because of Shell Smash. Yeah, no, I've definitely seen people use Poltergeist, and I always get afraid of it, and I never worry about Shell Smash. I don't know if we'll say never. I don't remember. I'm always worried about specs because of how ridiculously strong it is. I do like the removal pursuit for stuff like this and stuff like Gengar. I would have never touched a Gengar or a like. I mean, I would say Azelf, but I've used Azelf, so like, but like I would have never touched a Gengar in the past because I was always just afraid of pursuit. Like, well, who gives a shit? You just can go into a dark type and click pursuit, and guess what? It's gone. And bringing like very fat. Definitely. I feel like people definitely will over prep for like something like a Shell Smash, Poltergeist, and just ignore like Spec Shadow Ball click punching you in the face. The downside is it doesn't really have the greatest coverage, so it's kind of just like a budget Spectre. But the other side of that is, like I said, people are so busy preparing for like how to not lose to Shell Smash that they get smashed by specs instead, and that creates like just like a different kind of like mentality than Spectre. Because Spectre, you're always just like, oh well, as long as I'm prepared for this potential Calm Mind, potential Nasty Plot, potential hexing Pokemon, I should be fine. Whereas people are just like Sinistea, Sinistea. I always think Sinistea. Poltergeist, I just need to bring something faster than that. Good shot from Automatic. As of lately, Chinchino. Yo, where's Zombie at? Where's my man Zombie at? I love Chinchino. I do like me a Chinchino. I want to finals with it. Very, very good mon. normal grass rock is actually like some really weirdly good coverage outside of steel types. It's actually like really, really weird how phenomenal it is. Or just grass rock in general. Skill link, grass rock, U-turn, taunt. Who cares? Click a button, get a kill. And they're not contact either. That's a really good thing about like some skill link mons or some mons that like to hit multiple times, like triple axle. Oh, it gets triple axle too. Is that it makes contact and then Rocky Helmet becomes a thing. Bullet Seed and Rock Blast don't make contact, so that's really, really nice. Love Cinccino, and I've always just like suggested blindly in case like people are like, I know speed tiers aren't that big of a deal anymore, but I mean sometimes you may just want to have that one just to fill in a gap, or have like a higher speed tier and have your fast mon because you have like a slow team. And I usually just blindly suggest Ambipom or Cinccino because like I mean they're still good mons, they still come in. Canadine says Kecleon. Bruh. I've never been afraid of a Kecleon, I'll be honest. But it technically does have stab, fighting, plus ghost coverage, so that could be a thing. Gets rocks and recovery. I did not know it gets recovery. But I guess, I mean, this is like decent for its tier. Compared to like the other mons we've seen today, it's not really that good, but when you compare it to the other mons, when you compare it to like the other mons in its tier, its point value, like 4, not bad. Cheap rocker, good fake out, really good spadef, so it can be like a good sponge, good spectre answer, good Sinisty answer. There you go. Gets access to Sucker Punch, again, everything being stabbed with Protean's really nice. Can play some mind games with that, etc. Never really used Kecleon, so I don't really have as much of a expertise on it, but I've definitely seen it used decently well. Fran says, I don't really draft low tier offense. I guess Vikavolt, that counts. That's just the GOAT even without the webs. Yep, we've said it before. Matt O'Shea loves him some Akaberry Vikavolt. But this is actually a really strong mon. Like I said, 145 base special attack. This is strong. And it doesn't have to worry about ground types as hard because it gets Energy Ball for super effective coverage. And it gets Bug Buzz for just strong stab, hitting stuff really, really hard. Specs Bug Buzz is not a joke. It is not something you want to be on the receiving end of. Celeste says, did Matt O'Shea retweet this? No. Okay. Fucking Christ. He did comment, right? He did comment. I thought I saw him somewhere around here. Oh my god, we get it. Yes, Vicavolt's amazing. I love Vikavolt. I've used Vikavolt. Basculin, very strong. Boltund, not as good, but again, I'm not a fan of electric types recently, unless you're like Coco or Thundurus or Zat or something like that. I'm just like not feeling the electric types, but Boltund does get some interesting coverage moves, which creates some very interesting scenarios, especially when it's boosted by Strongjaw. I think it'd be better if it had like Ice Fang or something like that, so it could hit ground types a lot harder and not rely on something like Psychic Fangs, Crunch, Fire Fang, stuff like that. But all decent coverage moves, and unless you're facing a really like good pure ground type, you're probably gonna catch him off guard. Honestly, like you might. Basculin, I'm such an awesome asshole when it comes to like water types, because like I like Dracovish. Basculin's strong. Yeah, it is. It is. Arachne is strong, yeah. Strong water type. You know what's stronger? How about a fucking water type move that 2 KOs water types? And I think this is the last one. I think that I'm seeing... Yep, Stack Attacker and Mega Absol both are very amazing. I hate the fact that Mega Absol is now like 9 points and below. Why? I get it. It's like kind of frail, but it's a great mixed attacker. 150 base power knockoffs coming for your throat. Sword Den. It's such a good mon. I mean, I don't understand why it's still like so low. Maybe I should use it. I've been trying to use it, but people be fucking sniping me, little bastards. Great mixed attacker, obviously. Stack Attacker, you know, as long as you position it right, usually you can get its Trick Room off, and then, you know, very, very strong, very hard to switch into, very hard to deal with. It can snowball very quickly. But I do think as long as you're thinking and being ahead of the game, it's something that can be manageable. But I feel like a lot of people will overlook it because of that. Basculin's good. Immaculat's fine. It does get a little bit more of a boost because, you know, it's going to get a Violet soon. Alright, I won't be mean. I won't shit on it because it's not Fish's friend, etc. Well, I've covered a lot of ground in 30 minutes. I'm trying to keep these short and quick and go through them because I know people don't have time. And I also don't have time. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think. Is there any other low tier mon that you really, really like? I did mention Crabominable up here. I don't know if I mentioned that. I did use Crabominable. I had it in APA Classic. I think it was Season 15. I had an Excadrill. I had a Mega Charizard X. Like, I had Regen. I had the team. And I was just like, you know what would be funny? Funny Crabmon. And then I just kept bringing Trick Room Slowking into Crabominable. And, like, no one had to switch in for Ice Fighting. That is a ridiculous, strong typing. No one had to switch in, and I just kept punching holes and getting kills. It was great. Great mon. Well, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if there's any low tier mon that you really, really like, and I can, you know, we can go back and forth in the comments below. Let me know if there's anything you want to know about. If there's anything you want me to tweet out next, any suggestions for the next question, etc. I really appreciate everyone's support, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.